Hello Dandy's World fans, it's Trinity here. If you thought layers 1 and 2 scratched the surface, prepare yourselves. We're now diving into the third layer of the Dandy's World Iceberg, the first true underwater section, where things get significantly more obscure and, at times, a little unsettling. These are the theories, the controversies, and the forgotten pieces of Dandy's world. Grab some snack and let's begin. Some Toons were Quelver's OCs. Several beloved Toons in Dandy's world actually started out as Quelver's personal original characters, or OCs, long before they were brought into the game. These include Dandy, Glisten, Gub, and Connie. Dandy himself, the titular character of Dandy's world, originated as one of Quelver's OCs way back in 2021. He was later adapted and brought into the game to become the iconic figure we know today. Glisten also has a unique external origin, having been an OC Quelver made that was specifically inspired by the popular web series Don't Hug Me I'm Scared. Gub is another character who was one of Quelver's personal OCs before the creation of Dandy's world. Similarly, Connie was originally a personal OC of Quel's, notably based on the game Epic Mickey. She was first publicly seen as an Epic Mickey OC on January 30, 2024. This specific origin is likely why Connie's name doesn't follow the typical pattern of being alliterative or referencing an object, unlike most other Toons in the game. Unannounced Toons. In Dandy's world, unannounced Toons, or surprise Toons, refer to characters that were added to the game in an update without any prior leaks or official promotions. Their appearance genuinely took the community by surprise. The first two such surprise additions were Finn and Tegan. They made their debut without any prior hints, even appearing together in a thumbnail alongside Twisted Gub. Then we have Louie, who holds the distinction of being the first Toon unofficially leaked. Louie's model was accidentally shown in I_Manimator's inventory, which was quickly made private after the incident. Following this accidental reveal, Quell herself teased Louie's upcoming appearance, giving fans the green light to create fan art of the new Toon. Finally in this sequence, Cole also stands out as the only Christmas Toon not teased prior to the Christmas event, making his debut a complete surprise. Astro has 4 arms. The theory of Astro having 4 arms isn't just speculation. It's heavily implied by 2 key pieces of evidence. Firstly, his twisted form clearly depicts him with multiple limbs. Secondly, a telling dialogue with Tisha offers a direct hint. Astro is heard saying, "I've been so busy. I almost need an extra set of arms to help me out." When Tisha questions him, his quick, evasive response of "nothing" only adds to the mystery, suggesting he might have inadvertently revealed a hidden truth about his unique physiology. BJJX Scarlet OPU and content farms. This delves into specific figures like BJJX Scarlet and OPU, who are among the most popular creators. They are known for making what is often described as brain-rot content, typically designed to bait kids into watching and generating revenue. While this type of content is highly controversial, it remains popular with its young audience. The mention of content farms highlights a less positive aspect of online communities, where channels or individuals might rapidly produce low-quality or repetitive content, sometimes exploiting popular trends or controversies within games, solely for views and monetization. This can sometimes lead to the spread of misinformation, repetitive discussions, or a dilution of genuine community engagement. It's a reminder that not all attention or content surrounding a game is created equally, and discerning quality and intent becomes important for community members. Bootleg merch. Despite the game's official presence, there's a notable amount of unofficial, or bootleg, merchandise circulating. The most popular items among these are plushies, though they are often characterized by bad proportions and generally poor craftsmanship. While figures and clothes also exist, they are less popular. These bootleg items are typically made very cheaply, often resulting in wrong colors or other inaccuracies compared to official designs. Many content creators have even made videos showcasing these items, unboxing them, and sometimes ranking their quality. However, the existence of bootleg merchandise comes with a significant downside. It's crucial for fans to be aware that purchasing these unofficial items does not support the game's actual developers. In fact, Dandy Worldwide, the official creators, have issued warnings against scam websites that attempt to sell fake merchandise, urging players to be cautious and ensure they're supporting the legitimate creators of the game. dDandy's World Hate Dom. Let's talk about why some people really dislike dDandy's World and its fans. While it's common for popular things to get some hate, the reasons for disliking dDandy's World are pretty clear. A big reason is the game's community itself. Many players say it's quite mean and unfriendly. This includes things like big arguments over character ships, being rude to new players who don't know the game's unwritten rules, and just generally unpleasant behavior. Some even say the community is freaky or worse than other online game groups, especially when it comes to toxic shippers, who get overly intense about their favorite pairings. Another big complaint, especially for content found on places like TikTok, is the amount of grown-up NSFW content. Besides problems with the community, some hate comes from the gameplay itself. Even though it's popular, some players find playing the game feels a bit boring or like too much grinding, doing the same thing over and over, to have real fun. Also, there have been talks about some controversies or accusations involving old co-owners of dDandy's World. So, even though some players enjoy the game and like its characters, the issues with its community and the kind of content that spreads online are big reasons why dDandy's World gets so much hate. Flavor Frenzy. Flavor Frenzy is a tower defense game on Roblox, created by Blush Crunch Studio, the same developers behind dDandy's World. Beyond just sharing a creator, the game is notable for containing various Easter eggs that connect it to dDandy's World. The most significant of these was an arcade cabinet featuring dDandy, which could be found within Flavor Frenzy even before dDandy's World was released. This served as a clever, early teaser for what would become the hugely popular dDandy's World, making it a subtle piece of interconnected lore for fans who followed the developers' work across their different projects. However, despite this initial link and its own success, Flavor Frenzy has faced a significant decline. While it was initially updated alongside dDandy's World, the immense popularity of dDandy's World eventually led to Flavor Frenzy being pushed aside. The main reason for its abandonment stems from a critical incident involving a former developer, referred to as YKW, who was fired by Quell. Upon being fired, YKW unfortunately took all of Flavor Frenzy's models, textures, and other essential assets with them. This left the studio in a major predicament. Compounding the issue, as Blush Crunch Studio's older and first game, Flavor Frenzy's existing code is extremely messy and would require a massive effort to completely rewrite and optimize. Recreating all the stolen assets and redoing the code would simply consume too much time and resources, making it impossible to fix Flavor Frenzy while simultaneously providing frequent updates for dDandy's World. Due to these overwhelming technical challenges and other pressing priorities for the studio, Quell has, for the time being, had to abandon Flavor Frenzy. While Quell has expressed that they still love the game and has even found 3 amazing new developers for the studio, Flavor Frenzy will not be receiving the crucial fixes and updates that dDandy's World is currently getting. There is a slim hope that it might be revisited and fixed sometime in the distant future, but for now, Flavor Frenzy remains largely unmaintained. Misinformation. Misinformation refers to incorrect or false information about game mechanics, strategies, or lore that gets spread among players. This can be particularly confusing and frustrating for new players who are just trying to learn the ropes, as they might be fed completely wrong tips that actually hinder their gameplay. For example, some players initially thought that Razzle and Dazzle would activate just by walking into them. A more problematic instance of misinformation involves players intentionally giving beginners false advice. Stories circulate about experienced players telling newer ones that picking up gumballs somehow makes twisteds faster, or that you'll get a guaranteed medkit after every GG encounter if you manually give her a band from your inventory. These are not true game mechanics. While sometimes it might be an honest misunderstanding, there's concern that some players spread such false information to mislead or throw off beginners, creating a more challenging and sometimes unfair experience for those genuinely trying to learn. Glisten's insecure side. Through various in-game clues and revelations, Glisten stands out as a toon with significant hints about his inner workings. A major source of this deeper understanding comes from notes scattered throughout Glisten's room. These notes include mentions of other toons like Box 10, Razzle and Dazzle, Shrimpo, Brightnay, and Finn. More notably, One particular note refers to an unknown, someone, who consistently expresses concern about Glisten overworking himself and specifically mentions him getting dizzy from his signature reflection trick. This detail is strongly linked to one of Glisten's key dialogues with Roger, which was present since Glisten's initial release. In this conversation, Roger, known for being incredibly observant, directly confronts Glisten, asking if he's staying safe and even pointing out how he nearly walks into walls after using his ability, a concern Glisten attempts to brush aside. By connecting these pieces, it becomes strongly implied that Roger is the someone from the notes. He is keenly aware of Glisten's struggles with his reflection ability and his tendency to overwork. This reveals a surprisingly empathetic dynamic between Roger and Glisten, showcasing Roger's observant and caring nature despite his usual demeanor, and highlighting Glisten's hidden vulnerabilities beneath his often flamboyant exterior. Old Twisted Dandy design. Twisted Dandy actually had two very different looks before he became what he is today. His first version was quite unique. This early Twisted Dandy was super skinny and much taller, with totally black eyes that seemed to have black mist coming out. What's interesting is that this first design had 4 arms, a feature that later ended up on Twisted Astro's design. This first version also walked on 2 legs, not 4. The second version of Twisted Dandy looked a bit more like his final design, but still had many big differences. Instead of his whole body being made of sticky ichor, his bottom half was still his normal toon body, but its colors were very faded. The skin around this part was ripped, with his top half, made completely of ichor, bursting out. He still had some features and the same creepy face as his current design. But this version didn't have the famous VHS tapes wrapped around him and still walked on 2 legs, unlike the Twisted Dandy we know now who runs on all 4s. These older designs give a cool peek into how the scary character changed over time. Creepypastas. Just like in other online communities, Dandy's world has its own collection of fan-made scary stories, known as creepypastas. These are creative tales designed to be unsettling or spooky, often involving twisted versions of familiar tunes or dark interpretations of game events. The community acknowledges these are fictional and made for fun, serving as a way to explore horror themes within the game's universe, and sometimes even made for views. Exclusive roleplay mode features. While we've touched on roleplay mode before, this segment focuses on its exclusive features. This free game mode, accessed from the main lobby, lets players morph into any toon or twisted. A key feature is the custom animations for characters like Twisted Roger, Twisted Razzle and Dazzle, and Twisted Blot, who move uniquely here. The mode also includes areas normally inaccessible and boasts an exclusive Toon Rooms map, rich with lore notes. Furthermore, it offers a distinct gray dialog box for chat and a free camera mode for PC players, truly enhancing the roleplay experience. To use a twisted morph, you need to have encountered them and gained some research, while toons are freely available. Lil Dude. Next up, we have the legendary Lil Dude. Unlike an official character, Lil Dude is known within the community as a small doodle that could be spotted in Quelver's stream. There are many Lil Dude drawing, so I don't really know which one is the real one. If you know something more about Lil Dude, share it down in the comments. Connie Delay. Connie holds the unique spot as the first toon openly known to have been delayed in coming to Dandy's world. The main reason for this holdup was a big problem behind the scenes, the firing of a past co-owner of Blush Crunch Studio. This created a large, empty space in the team, causing issues with development. Because of this same situation, Connie also became the first toon to be remodeled. This shows how big changes within the game's development team can directly affect when characters are released and even how they look. It highlights how much goes on behind the scenes that players don't always see. 68,475 Ichor. The number 68,475 Ichor marks a specific point in Dandy's world's history. This was an older data total for the amount of Ichor you needed to buy absolutely everything available in the game that costed Ichor, which included all toons, trinkets, and skins, even those from special events. It's important to know that this total has changed. With new updates and added content, the complete collection now requires a higher sum of 79,825 Ichor. So, While 68,475 was once the goal for players aiming to unlock everything, that number has since been updated. We've now completed our journey through Layer 3 of the Dandy's World Iceberg, uncovering many of its deeper secrets and community insights. Thanks for watching, subscribe, like and comment. I will see you next Sunday when we explore Layer 4.